Hey there, gang. It is time for another comic book unboxing video. You know the deal by now. I have this short box of comic books, but I've got no idea what is actually in this box. We will make that discovery together, so if you like comic books, stick around. We're going to have some fun. Hey there, Bubby. Welcome to Shanghalla. My name is Duke, and this is an unboxing video. So please do like, share, subscribe, comment away, do all the groovy things, and stick around until the end of the video for the extra double super top secret password that you need in order to enter the great subscriber giveaway contest. Wow, that was a long sentence. that was hard to say. All right, well, we've got Batman here as our Amigo mascot of the video. Let's not waste any time. Let's get right into it. I need to bust these books out so I can get to grading. Hope you have some fun today as well. Let's see what we've got. Wow, this is cool. I love Charltons, and boy, it's a hard job to find some high-grade Charltons. This looks pretty decent. Most of the Charltons that I see are just partly because of the inferior way that they were printed and packaged, and probably inside this is going to have kind of ragged edges anyway, but they seem to age more quickly. And it could be too that the people, the casual kind of readers who bought Charlton books, you know, who weren't that into the superheroes and bought the various different genres that Charlton offered, they didn't really, well, they didn't have bag and boards in this day, but didn't preserve them, didn't protect them as well. So when I get Charlton books, usually they're aged pretty heavily. They're browning, even when they're not beat up. But this looks pretty decent. Hot Rods and Racing Cards with Clint Curtis and his Road Knights. Well, what do you think of that? That is issue... Well, it's hard to say. Often Charlton didn't list the issue number on the cover, so I'd have to open it up, but I'm not going to open these up during the unboxing. This one's in nice shape as well. Hi, Chaparral. I believe that was a TV series, correct? What is surprising is that, well, maybe it was more often than Adele's, but usually the actors all have their names kind of stamped next to them. This doesn't. It's called Key Book. Charlton Premier presents Trio, the Trio team. Oh no, Trio is these three series. Tyro is one of the trio of series. I get it. Took me a second. You know, and it's funny. There's the shape, the Spook Man. There's a company called Charlton Neo, which is actually based here in Maine. Shout out to Mort, not Mort Drucker, not Mort Walker. Mort Todd, that's it, Mort Todd. We'll totally not subscribe to this channel after that. Mort Todd is the fellow who runs Charlton Neo, and they do a lot of revivals of Charlton characters. I don't know that they've ever revived any of these three. I would be kind of interested in doing so myself. I kind of want to buy this book just to see how many appearances did any of these characters have. I'm assuming the shape is some kind of a changeling. Who knows what the Tyro team is all about? They look like it almost looks like something that would have been a Saturday morning cartoon series. Looks like a kid game thing. And Spookman. Spookman looks like the Funky Phantom. We found a friend in Funky Phantom. Leave a comment below if you know who the Funky Phantom is. And you know what? Before I forget, the code word to enter the contest for this video is going to be Funky Booger. So there we go. This is Ghost Manor, number 4. It does have an issue number on it. Oh, this is number 1, by the way. I don't know if I said that. So there you go. Interesting. Ghost Manor number 2. Now this is what is his name? Rocky Mascherano? Something like that. Sounds like the wrestler, but it's not. The wrestler was not a comic book artist. Here's another Rocky cover. This is number 1. Look at that. Ghost Manor number 1. That should do okay on eBay. Here's Ghost. This is a Steve Ditko cover, obviously. The Many Ghosts of Dr. Graves, number 12. Here's number 11, also by Ditko. Nice, and these are in decent shape. Here's the Phantom from King Comics. Of course, you've heard of King Features Syndicate, and they were syndicating comic books way into the early 20th century. And they were licensing them out to comic book publishers right from the beginning of the comic book industry in the 30s. But for a very brief period in the mid to late 60s, they actually published comic books themselves featuring the characters that they usually licensed out. And so there you go. There's the Phantom number 22. Here's number 23. None of these King comic series lasted that long. 23 could even be the last King issue, I'd have to look it up. But when Charlton took over the series, they continued it. Here's number 30. I'm pretty sure they continued it from the King numbering. Outlaws of the West, number 73. That almost looks like an Alex Toth cover. That's pretty cool. I'll have to look it up and see if it is. Outlaws of the West, number 72. This is cool. It really is. The last few boxes, if I seemed a little low energy, I just see the same thing over and over and over and over again. So it's hard to get worked up over, the 173rd time you see Daredevil number 42. Yeah. But these Charltons, I don't see that often, and they're pretty cool. And that also, again, that looks like Alex Toth. If that is Alex Toth, you might find yourself bidding against me. You might indeed. Space Adventures number 3. By who's this on the cover? Oh, that's Rocky as well. There's another number 3. Here's number 4. A nice Jim Aparo cover. I love Jim Aparo. I really do. The Incredible Imitation People. I really want to read that. I do. I might even read it before I grade it. I might break it out and read it. This is a Ditko. Meet the Horrible Enemy. It is pretty horrible. Look at that. Although this looks like a different artist. Steve's thing is the magnet of Magneto. Well, there you go. Apart from the copyright infringement, which for all we know with Ditko could have been a purposeful thumb to Stan and Marvel, the magnet of Magneto. Wow, that's like saying the Rocky the Rock. I don't know. They say the Rocket of Rocky. I don't know. Tried to think of something clever and lost it. Just as I was trying to say it. Hey, look at this though. Captain Atom by Ditko. Ditko and Frank McLaughlin, it looks like. Revenge of Thor. That's cool. Number 88. Here's 89. The Ghost returns as Captain Atom faces the menace of 13. That's cool. Oh, wow. An early X-Men, number 8. First appearance of Eunice the Untouchable. And I don't know why, as a kid, that just cracked me up. All I could think of was anus. And definitely, I don't know about you, mine was untouchable. Here's number 23. Decent condition copy. This should do real well. Although these early issues by Roy Thomas, I think it was Roy Thomas who was writing, and the art by Werner Roth, pretty underwhelming, pretty unexciting. I mean, they are highly valuable, highly collectible as early X-Men books, but actually getting in there and reading them, it's kind of like, I always encourage people, buy what you enjoy to read and damn the investment value. Well, these are books that I think that you could feel comfortable buying them for the investment potentialities and just not even bother to read. Or read it in a trade or something like that. Number 35, Along Came a Spider. There you go. Nice spider ass for you. A crackless spider ass, no less. Here's number 38 with, is that the Blob? Yes, it is. The Vanisher? Yes, sir. Here's Frankenstein, or the Monster of Frankenstein, if I want to be pedantic about it. This is not Frankenstein. This is the Subhuman. The very following issue. Two similar antagonists, 2 issues in a row. The Death of Professor X. Don't worry, he would get better. Spoiler, it would turn out he was just the Changeling in disguise. Here's X-Men 43, The Power of Magneto. The real Magneto, who doesn't need magnets. He is the magnet. Here's the Golden Age Angel. I believe that is the Golden Age Red Raven, who I believe this is only his second appearance. He appeared in Red Raven Comics #1, which with issue 2 became Human Torch Comics, and I think this is only his second appearance ever. So Marvel was really scraping to team up the Angel with another winged character in its library. issue 47. And of course, I've always theorized the X-Men was selling pretty low, and all of this, logos for different characters was, I think, an attempt to see if one would break out, that they could then maybe break off into their own series. I'm just speculating. But let me know in the comments below if you agree with that, or you've got a different theory. This is the Parasite, not the first appearance of the Parasite, but an early-ish appearance that almost looks like a Neil Adams cover. It might be. I'd have to look it up. It's 361. Marvel Superheroes featuring or presenting the pulse-pounding Phantom Eagle. I forget if this is reprints or a new story or a combination of both. World's Finest Comics, and that is, it looks like a Neil Adams cover. Certainly looks it to me. 174. World's Finest, I've told you before, really is kind of the bastard stepchild of Silver Age DC books, at least sales-wise. 177. They don't sell nearly as well as almost anything else, really. 178. But these are you, Batman. Oh no, Batman! Look at this. You're getting your ass kicked. Oh no, look away. That's number 180. That is definitely not a Neil Adams cover. That's number 181. Teen Titans, number 19. That's cool. Speedy had joined the group by this time. Tales to Astonish, number 100. That's a good book. Although, here's BB. Oh no, this is KB. This is KB, who, like BB, liked signing the books multiple times. 3 times on Subby alone. Tales of Suspense, number 96. To Be Reborn, or not. I always love... And I don't think this was originally in here. I think somebody added this in post. But just those little dots for Cap's eyes make him look like, oh, fuck. This is going to hurt. I'm not that invulnerable. There's number 99. Jimmy Olsen, Superman's pal, number 114. A couple of prison guys there. Didn't their stripes usually go this way, though? The horizontal stripes just makes their asses look fat. There's 148. Superboy doesn't do real well on eBay. I love the Superboy books, though. Maybe because I love the Legion. But here's Bonnie and Clyde. You got to have that one at least. You got to at least read how Superboy faced off against Bonnie and Clyde. Which they could have done because this is in the 60s. So the adventures of Superboy would have taken place in like the 30s. It might have been a little anachronistic, but again, assuming 25, 30 years before whatever age Superman is supposed to be in the 60s, the Superboy books were actually pretty anachronistic because you never could really tell. They would flip back and forth. A lot of times the cars and designs and other things would look modern, but other times they would look like the 30s or the 40s when it should have been set. It's during the brief period where Ma and Pa Kent were de-aged, made young, so they didn't look quite so much like they were one foot in the grave. Curiously, it wasn't too long after this they would be in the grave. Here's Superman number 205, the man who destroyed Krypton. He looks pretty happy about it. Here's a famous trope, Clark Kent v. Superman, either V or splitting up, splitting away. It's kind of a neat cover. Fishing Clark Kent's clothes out of the bay. Little knowing that Superman is right there, being a dick. That was basically his job in the Silver Age, being a dick to Jimmy and Lois. There's a 211. The name of the game is Superman. Wonder what that one's about. Don't think I ever read that one. Here's Submariner number 3 with Triton from the Inhumans. Number 12. I always wanted to know, how did this, he's got, this helmet thing and this bodysuit and these boots. I don't know how he would even get the boots on with those claws, but with these claws for hands, although he's got extra hands coming out of his sides, which is weird, how would he even get dressed? How would he put that suit on? How would his race of people operate a sewing machine? You got to think about these things when you are trying to build a world. Here's Strange Tales 164, Doctor Strange on that cover. 162, again Doctor Strange. At this point, Doctor Strange and Nick Fury were alternating covers. Here is, and this is Nebulos. I don't know. Somewhere in here, there's a first appearance of somebody who appeared in the movies. who became kind of a big deal. Although in the movies, I think he's just shown as like a dead head or something. Here's the Yellow Claw. That's not racist at all. We might be going Marvel the rest of the way. Should add Stan as our Mego mascot for this box as well. Here's it looks like, oh, we were going to say somebody trying to be Steranko, but maybe not. 157. Subscription folds in a lot of these books. 155, 147, 142. A little lower grade on this book. Strange Tales. So before Nick Fury, Johnny Storm had the lead spot in Strange Tales. He wasn't as popular, I think, as Stan thought he would be. And so eventually he had to bring the Thing over, team Thing up with Johnny in the Strange Tales stories. And of course you had Doctor Strange as well. Doctor Strange by Ditko. Oh, look. Here's Wonder Woman as kind of a fullback. Look at those shoulders on her. My goodness. My goodness. There's giant Wonder Woman with little tiny, teeny young girl Wonder Woman. It's a book-length startler. Here's Thor. Again, we got KB. KB signs the book 3 times. 145. 141, kind of a clip art cover. Must have been behind deadline. 140, The Growing Man. I don't know why that makes me laugh. Ulik. Is that the first Ulik? No, it's not. No, it's not. 137. 136, To Become an Immortal. Oh, this is him. Is this him who is unknown? Maybe not. Adam Warlock, who was made his debut in the Fantastic Four, is just him. Those were kind of cameo appearances, and then his first kind of full appearance was in the Thor. I forget what issue, though. There's 135. Somebody doing a little math here on the cover. 305, line 205. I don't know what that's all about. 132. 131. That's a nice cover. I like that. These are a little lower grade, though. They should still sell well as singles. These should all bring at least $10 as singles still, even this one. With all those multiple folds there. Here's number 129. 128, The Power of Pluto. That looks like Don Heck. Back in what I consider to be his better phase. 127. Another kind of a clip art cover. Looks like Thor was always behind deadline, it feels like. Ragnarok. 157. This cover's decent. Usually that white part is all browned up, but it's pretty, a little tan down here at the bottom, but pretty decent otherwise. 155. There's Magog, or Gog, I forget which. It's another kind of clip art cover, it feels like. Dr. Blake Can Die. Might as well be dead. When was the last time Dr. Blake appeared in a Marvel comic? 152. Somebody will tell me, just last month, you idiot. Sorry. Sorry, I didn't know. When I was a kid in the 70s, Donald Blake was a thing of the past, nowhere to be seen. Here's another one that sometimes is hard to find in high grade because that white part browns up, but that one looks decent. Here's the Wrecker, introducing the Wrecker. Crowbar of Power. Captain America 102. Nice. 106, Cap Goes Wild. Just like Girls Gone Wild, Cap Goes Wild. 107, Here Lies Bucky. Cap spent a lot of time being sad about Bucky. Now that Bucky's back, they hardly even talk. This one's got everything. Porcupine, Batroc, Whirlwind, Hulk. Strange Adventures featuring Deadman. So I think Deadman first appeared in, I want to say 206. You look it up and let me know. So this would have been a very early appearance of Deadman, and that is Neil Adams. It's a Neil Adams cover, and I think he did the art inside as well. Here is Deadman again, starring in Strange Adventures, 211. 213. Not sure if this is still Neil Adams or not. This one looks very Neil Adams. 216. Strange Tales, 168. That's Doctor Strange. 165. Nick Fury. The Spectre. Look at that. Number 3. with, and I think that's a Neil Adams cover. I don't know if he did the art inside. I think he did do a couple of the interiors on this series. This series only lasted like, what, 7, 8, 9 issues? But there's Wildcat. I know he's supposed to be under mind control, but he just looks really constipated. It's an unfortunate pose with an unfortunate grimace. It looks like he's really trying to squat one out. Here is Amazing Spider-Man Annual number 2. Would have been all reprints, but it's still pretty... Oh, no, it's not all reprints. It says all new. The Wondrous World of Doctor Strange. What? What's Doctor Strange doing in a Spider-Man comic? Much less a Spider-Man movie. Here's number 3. This one is definitely a reprint. That's a reprint of Spidey's... Oh, look at this. Look at that. Weird fantasy. Now, even with this little piece missing right here, and kind of the lower grade, I'm a little surprised that this didn't go to CGC. It looks solid and complete. It's maybe a 3. I'll have to give it a closer inspection, a closer grade. Is that even torn off or is it just folded in? No, it is torn off. Interesting. Weird Fantasy number 10. Nice. Very, very nice. An Al Feldstein cover. Wow. I'm surprised that didn't go to CGC. What the hell was that? A little piece of paper. Or something. It wasn't from any of these books. They're all in bags. Here's annual number 4. Tales of the Unexpected, or at this point, they lost the Tales and it was just Unexpected. This might be the first Unexpected. I think it was Tales of until 103 or 104. Anyway. Here's 106, Johnny Peril. That's a nice cover. That looks like, that looks to me like it might be, almost looks like a Dan Spiegel cover. Or possibly, what's his name, who was in the Will Eisner studio? Mazahuhu? I'll have to look it up. I forget. Here's Action Comics 370. It's Supergirl backup. Here's Supergirl taking part in the lead story. That looks like a Neil Adams cover. All of the substitute Supermen filling in. Batlash, number 1. Was it this box, the last box? I think it was the last box, or maybe even the box before that. Look at that. You can see her garter. That's sexy. We saw the showcase issue that was Batlash's first appearance. This is the first issue of his own series. So there's number 1. Batlash, co-created by Sergio Aragonis, popular for his Mad Magazine illustrations, and his co-creation of Gru the Wanderer. I would love to see a Gru Batlash team up. Gru has lately teamed up with a lot of different characters, Tarzan and the like, several others in that vein. Considering that Sergio created both of these characters, I think it's a natural. If we can get Sergio and Mark Vanier and Dark Horse and DC to all cooperate and play nice together. These, though, unfortunately, that's a nice cover. Nice Nick Cardy cover. Look at that. Pretty big headstone, though, that full-sized Batlash grown man can hide behind it. Looks like the kid is standing upright, too. But, and that's nice. The cover is still nice and white. Not faded or nothing, really. But Batlash, these will be a hard sell on eBay. People just don't love Westerns anymore. Even in something as cool as Batlash. Here's Gateway to Death. Here Will Lie, Batman and Robin. Oh no, that's number 202. Here's Batman Fighting the Blind in 204. Whole bunch of Daredevils, I guess. Here's another one. Looks like Fighting Blind again. What is it? Was this a 2-part story? Must have been 204 and 205, right? That would have been kind of a rarity at the time. Here's 207. Cool cover. An 80-page giant with the go-go checks. That's cool. Here's straight out of the camp era of Batman. Here's Batman watching his own TV show. More or less. It's called The Adventures of Batman here, but you knew. You knew what they meant. Here's Batman head in a crystal ball. Kind of a creepy, moody cover. So what do you think, Bats? Huh? We're looking at a lot of your own books. Boy, I picked the right mascot for this video, didn't I? This is our last stack. This is it for this box. There is another 80-page giant. Here is another 80-page giant. So that was 193. This is 198. This is a fun cover. Batman needs one of his own comic books, but he's so popular, he's sold out. Brave and the Bold, featuring Batman and the Atom. Wow, they're going to blow the hell out of the Atom. Look at that. That's kind of scary. I don't know who the tiny girl is. I don't think I've ever read that issue. Here is, right around the same time, maybe a little after, probably a little after his series in Strange Adventures, Deadman appears in Brave and the Bold, and it looks like that is a Neil Adams cover. I don't know if he's Fugitive style, the man with the hook. Isn't that who the Fugitive was always running from? Oh, look at that. I just knocked over Batman. Just knocked over Batman. Well, that's because he's like, well, we're up to the creeper. I'm taking a nap. Screw that. Here he is, though. That's a cool book. Steve Ditko, Beware the Creeper, #1. That's nice. That's really nice. People make fun of Steve Ditko's art, but that is just a beautiful cover. It really is. Here is issue 3. That is not a Ditko cover. I think he was still doing the interiors. Here's #2. I don't think that's a Ditko cover either. Here's another #2. I think this series lasted, what, 6 issues? There's another #3. That's cool. And I think he was actually gone by this point. He bailed. I don't know if these issues, I think these issues were written by Denny O'Neil, like from Ditko plots. But Denny was pretty liberal. And I wouldn't call Ditko conservative or alt-right, but his libertarian philosophy just did not mesh well with Denny O'Neil. Although this might have been Steve Skeets, I'd have to look it up. But this issue 5, and I think the series only lasted 6 issues. So, and I think by this point, by 5, Steve was gone. And that's it. We're gone too. That's the end of that box. So I hope you enjoyed that. I hope you have a good time. What did we decide early on at the beginning of this video? What was our booger going to be? Our code word? I've completely forgotten. I hope you remember. But you leave it in the comments below and you'll be entered into the great giveaway contest. But anyway, thanks for being here today. Thanks for checking out all those cool comic books with me. Now it's time for me to get those graded. But anyway, until the next time we meet, wherever it may be, here or maybe somewhere out in the wild. Until then, goodbye, good luck, and please be good to each other.